Yeah, the Lord does listen, and I'm thankful. All right, I'm going to say a few words about AMI, and then we'll open the floor for questions about whatever you want to ask. If it's something I don't feel I can answer very well, I'll just tell you. But let me say a little bit about what I'm getting ready to do. We are in the process of finalizing the acquisition of 78 acres property, very close to Andrews University. I mean, my church tried 3 or 4 times to buy property for a nature school and just never worked. And then this happens. And I don't think I should go into all the details right now, but I will tell you that the Lord gave it to us we have to buy it, but he gave it to us on terms that were exactly what we wanted without having to ask for it. So the owner is as excited about us getting the property as I think we are about getting it ourselves. And at first, when Dan Bakioki called him, he said, I don't even know if I want to sell it. He didn't want a hotel or a truck stop or anything else going in on it. It is close to a major 4-lane road. But he is just so excited about it, and we're so excited about it. We are... It's a big undertaking, but I think as Adventists, we've kind of not done... What was that quote, Colleen, by A.W. Tozer? It's too bad to only attempt things we can do in our human power and not give God a chance to do the things only he can do. Yeah, it's by A.W. Tozer, who was a pastor in Chicago. I didn't say it as good as it was quoted, but I believe what's really hurt the Adventist church is asking too little of our members. And Christian Service, page 72, I think it is, Ellen White says the pastor's job is to put everybody to work. And I took that to heart. So I started creating places for people to do something for God, and guess what? They fell more in love with God while they were doing it. And AMI will be no different. Our first building will be a media center, administration center, and IT center. We're going to set up a tent in the better times of the year when we can have a big old tent, like a camp meeting at times. At least this is my hope. And we'll start using the property right away. What will happen, I hope, is I've had a good relationship with the president of the university. And it's my hope that one of the doctors that's going to be working with us, who has a good relationship with the university, that we can fulfill the prophecy Ellen White talked about. She said, in the due course of time, a sanitarium was to be built in Berrien Springs, not to compete with any other sanitariums, but for the training of the students. Now, our young people are being picked off left and right by illustrious careers that leave the church looking like it's been run over and kicked to the side of the road. And what I really think, if we want to keep them and take them to heaven, we're going to have to give them a chance to be the hands and the heart and the voice and the feet of God. So that sanitarium we're going to build will be particularly a training institution. If it works out how we think, it'll work as a complement to the primary care facility that the Village Church purchased and is remodeling. And then we will be building a convention center, an event center on it. We'll be building a K-8 school that has a bunch of cabins for individualized learning, or I should say individualized classroom learning. And then we'll be doing an academy of the same similar nature. We'll have a farm on it. And we'll build the medical missionary work right there too. Now, personally, I'd love to work together on these kind of things like Lee and I worked in Montana on the Poplar Church. And being at the Poplar Church on the east side of Montana, I was convinced it's time for groups to start going back there. And AMI will coordinate those kind of groups. Advent Mission Institute. Our website is ami365.org. And I really believe we need a renaissance of joy through Adventist mission work. I can see the picture up here on the back screen is the picture of our property. If you go to our website, you'll get a kind of a animation of all the buildings. We do have a doctor that has pledged to buy 38 acres for us next to our 78, so we'll have 116 acres. And I'm thankful for what everyone can do, but I'm hoping no matter what a person's trade or interest is, that they'll consider coming and being part of what I consider the joy of Adventist fellowship while we work for God. So I think that what I learned at Cicero and what I learned at Village, now God wants me to teach. I'm going to be teaching a Institute of Church Renewal. You know, there's spiritual laws and there's leadership laws. And if you don't understand them, you can't renew a church. Plan to teach homiletics and leadership along with a variety of other classes. But of course, the medical missionary work will be led by one of our preeminent physicians in that realm, as long as we get everything worked out, but it's looking like it. How fast are we going to go? We're going to go as fast as, really, to be honest, the money comes in, because Dan Bakioki has a team of people. He has a team of probably 5 renderers and architects. He's already working on the plans for the media center, and my sense is that God provided for a quick build-up at Village. I think he's going to provide for a quick build-up here. Yeah, Jesus is coming. Ellen White was asked about that once. She said, she was asked, why are you spending all this money on the institutions? And she said, you know, publishing, medical, and education. She said, basically, these things need to go forward. She said, think about not doing so much for yourself, as my loose paraphrase, and start putting it into the work. So we've been saying Jesus is coming for the last 150 years. It's true. Every generation gets reminders. Right now we have a lot of them. But we can't stop and wring our hands. We're supposed to just go forward best we can, because it's by doing that we're transformed. So we're going forward with AMI. And as God moves on people's hearts, I believe it can become a renaissance for not only the North American division, but for the world church. And I'll say one more thing. Adventism has kind of drifted into the arms of the world, and it can't have spiritual vitality while it's doing that. Now, that's way too glaring. It's person by person and congregation by congregation. But wherever Adventism recommits to work with God, God comes into a committed work relationship with them, and things start to happen. I've never been let down by God. I've tried to pray my way with my elders and board and church into God's leading, and at this point in time, I'm absolutely convinced, because I didn't really want to do AMI, to be very honest. It would have been much easier for me to take a job in the denomination, of which I was offered some. And it would have relieved me of a bit of the stigmata that is on me in the minds of some, because it's not easy to get fired in the Adventist church. So when you get fired, everybody thinks you did something. I did do something. I had some challenging interactions with the organization regarding some challenging situations that were both local and in the world church. And those got difficult. And without saying too much, so that's AMI. Very good. Thank you for listening and letting me talk about it. I think maybe towards the end there'll be a way, if you want to financially partner with me, that'd be great. My wife has business cards. You want to wave your hand over there so they can see who you are? That's my wife, Colleen. She's a 4th grade teacher, my partner in ministry. All right, I think this is a question and answer session, so I'm going to turn it over to our roving Soren. Looks like he's got a mic. I don't know if anyone else does. I'll try to answer your questions best I can. I'm not an expert on much, but I can tell you from my perspective what I think on whatever you ask. All right, question right here.
I regularly get sent requests from PUC where I went to school about all the stuff they want from me, but they've gone so far away from where I am philosophically, religiously, it's hard to support that. What is your perspective on the existing Adventist schools, and how, at least to some, they're moving more to the left, and how should we interact